I'm Charles Hankey, attorney, and I've been representing injured and disabled people in Indiana for over 35 years. Recently, we've noticed a spike up in bicycle trauma incidents, and I want to share with you some of our insights that hopefully will be of help to you avoiding these kinds of incidents and give you some suggestions on what to do if you are unfortunately involved in them. In the last 15 years or so, there has been an increase of 120% in emergency room visits for bicycle injury trauma situations. Approximately 52% of the injuries that occur to bicyclists in these incidents occur with fractures of the wrists, the arms, or the shoulders. What is very troubling is that approximately 16% of these traumatic incidents involve brain trauma, concussive, permanent brain injuries. So these incidents are very, very serious. And what is so disturbing is that they can be prevented if the motorist simply adhered to the rules of the road. And those rules are to keep your vehicle under reasonable control and don't make movements with your car or truck unless you can do so safely. Now, how these come out in bicycle trauma injuries, there are 4 patterns of incidents which I've noticed. And one injury, one pattern is the left hook injury. You have the right hook injury. You have the passing mishap, and you have the door jam injury. The left hook injury is really hard to fathom. In that injury, the driver goes up to the intersection, passing the bicyclist on the left, and for some reason just simply cuts across the path of the bicyclist to make the left-hand turn. The same pattern occurs on the right, where the bicyclist would be in the bicycle lane and the motorist just cuts straight across. Now, what is different about bicycle injuries is that there are really 2 traumas, and bicyclists need to make sure that they are compensated for both traumas. They get smacked by the vehicle, they get thrown from the bicycle, and the second trauma is they're coming to rest against the pavement or an immovable object. The natural tendency is to put out the arm to brace the fall, and that's why there are so many shoulder and wrist injuries. The other couple of patterns are the improper passing, and again, the zone of safety around a bicyclist is supposed to be impenetrable, but somehow the bicyclist gets crowded by the self-centered, distracted driver, resulting in trauma and injury. And finally, a pattern which emerges is the door jam injury, the bicyclist going down the bicycle path and the inattentive parked car jolting out the car door, causing a lack of balance and jolt by the bicyclist. So these are several patterns. And of course, it's important if this occurs to survey the area of the occurrence, get statements, try to understand the trauma and how it occurred. And also, it's important not to accept some of these lack of taken responsibility for the trauma. And some of the things you hear is it wouldn't have been so bad if the bicyclist had had knee pads or arm pads or shoulder pads. And of course, that's not statutorily required. There's not even a requirement to have a helmet. So these are all unfortunate smoke screens to evade responsibility. And hopefully, these occurrences will never happen to you. If they do, we're here to help you sort through and make sure that the responsibility for these unfortunate injuries fall where they should be.